All right, we're going to talk about this today. My 2017 Polaris Slingshot. Now, I last did a video on, I, I last did a driving video back in the COVID days. And that got a lot of hits. But I had music going on. I was new to YouTube, and I guess YouTube kind of said, "Hey, you're not going to get any money off this one," which is fine. I don't do them for money, but once I hit like 10,000 views, I think I could have made a couple bucks off it. I don't know, but anyway, I'm doing another one just as an update mainly. My channel's very small, but I think the impression I got is people really like the Slingshot compared to my Mustang videos. Because for those of you that follow my channel, you probably know I'm a big Mustang fan. I got the GT500, but I also have this. Now, since I've last filmed this, I had the roof on for a couple years. This is called a bullet speed top. It's got some holes. I think from this, I added this to block the sun. They got a little visor there, but yeah. So the bullet speed top. Anyway, so let me start by saying a lot of people say, "What is this?" I drive it around town. I even take it to work. You can use the diamond lane. In California, the passing lane is called the diamond lane, and only certain people were allowed to use it. Motorcycles, three-wheel vehicles like this. It's tagged as a motorcycle. And cars with passengers and certain electric vehicles. So that's kind of nice. But anyway, so this is basically called an autocycle, or a three-wheel vehicle. It's considered an autocycle. Now, they couldn't call this a car, even though it has a steering wheel and everything, because of the lack of safety features. In order to qualify as a car, you'd have to have airbags, doors, of course, and things like that. So the way Polaris gets away with this, and other companies, they call it an auto cycle, and it gets tagged as a motorcycle, a little motorcycle tag. It's got one wheel in the back. It's like a 20-inch wheel in the back, and two wheels in the front, two 18-inch wheels in the front. This particular year, they made these starting in 2015. So from 2015 through 2019, Polaris put a GM, General Motors engine in it, a 2.4 liter four-cylinder Ecotech. I'm gonna pop the hood and show you the engine and tell you about that. So to pop the hood on these, you have to push down on this little thing and then pull back. I don't know if I'm strong enough. Let me see. Yeah, look, I gotta use two hands. Hold on. Here. There. All right. Yeah, that's why I gotta hit the gym today. Anyway, it opens like a clamshell, which is pretty cool. And it reveals the engine. This is the 2.4 liter four-cylinder Ecotech. It's a good engine. Everything's easy to get to. Spark plugs right on top. The oil filters right there. There's a little intake. On this one, yeah, so basically this is the same engine that GM used to put in the Chevy Cruze Pontiac Solstice. The Pontiac Solstice is like that little two-seater convertible from back in the, I think, mid-2000s, early 2000s, and also the Saturn Sky. So basically with this engine, it's just that same engine. It makes 174 horsepower. Now, I added this. This is like a little Ram Air kit, which I can show you. You see, it's got two snorkels that go to the front. It's called a VelossaTech intake, and it blows right on the filter there. This is an aftermarket coolant tank. Steel, I think. You can see it's got a nice sight glass in there. For that, I had to get the aftermarket coolant tank because these are notorious for leaking. The stock ones are plastic, and I think the engine heat, because the way it's designed and all that, literally melts it. So there's the headers are underneath there, and the exhaust comes out right down here, so you can hear the exhaust pipe. I'm not going to bend down, but it's like straight down, so you can hear it pretty well. You can see everything, which is cool. Like, see the suspension, this is the coil springs, and you can see all the components here. The hood latch, it latches in 4 spots. One over here, one here, and then same on the other side. So I'm not going to get super technical in this video, because this is going to be a driving video mostly. I added this rack too. There was one over here, but it fell off. Long story. I'm going to try to put it back on. But you can add, there's a big aftermarket on these. There's a decent aftermarket for the Slingshot. For those of you that are Mustang people like me, there's a big aftermarket for Mustangs. Everything on this car is kind of pricey. But I did add, the SL models do come with a radio or stereo with front speakers only. These are Rockford Fosgates and front speakers, but I added a touchscreen BOSS system with you can buy these from Sling Mods. This is like little speaker pods, and I added these waterproof SS Work speakers in the headrest, which are cool. And then these are you can see that's a subwoofer, a shallow subs. Some people put speakers back here. There's actually storage behind the seats, but they put big subwoofers back here. But I actually, you know, sometimes I take this grocery shopping. You know, you can fit a grocery bag or two. So this does have storage. You know, I added, you know, these seat covers because they help when it gets hot out. But yeah, see, storage right there, which is pretty decent. This one's bigger than that side. For some reason, it's got 2 cup holders here. So I'm going to close this up. And you can add things like this. Like I add this. You can put a helmets in there. And things like that. So, you know, but they come. Hold on here. You can add roofs, any kind you want. I like the bullet speed because these tops, it's a soft top, so you do get some wind noise. But you know, I can easily replace this. I think for $300 you can get a new, any color you want. I'm gonna get the same color, and because this has some holes in it. The only thing about this top is this here. These kind of, there's adhesive here, so I had to add some zip ties to hold this down because it started blowing around after a while. So if you get this kind of top, just keep that in mind. They're held on by adhesive. You may have to do some things. This is 6061 T6 aluminum. For those of you my Air Force days, aircraft maintenance guys. But it's super light top, but it's super strong. I'm not gonna do, I did a review on the bullet speed top. If you're interested in that, you can go ahead and check that out. I love the bullet speed top. And also with these, hold on, let me close this up. This is an aftermarket steering wheel. I sold my other wheel on Amazon. They have a nice selection of aftermarket wheels. This is a nice flat bottom, super small. This is even aftermarket, this cup holder thing, because I stick my phone in there and use it for nav. 6-speed manual, short throw. It's a little different than, and windshield, you can get a dark one. This is your basic stock looking windshield. And of course there's the engine. It's nice. Nice engine, very reliable. I mean, I I beat the crap out of this engine, and I tell you, no issues. Polaris makes their own engine now. It's a 2-liter engine that revs out to like 8,000 RPM, maybe a little higher. So it's more sporty than this, a little more horsepower, less torque. Yeah, they make their own engine starting 2020, and they also make them, you can get them in automatic or manual now. They only made this one, these in manual. I recommend manual for those of you, because with a 4-cylinder, I feel like you get more out of it with a manual, but to each their own. Automatic's good. They got paddle shifters and things like that. But I like this engine because I can go to any auto parts store like AutoZone, and when it comes time to change the oil, and I can just get oil and filter for a 2.4 liter Ecotech engine. Now with the Polaris engine, you have to go to Polaris, I think, and that's when things get expensive. So a lot of people complain, like, I took my Slingshot to a Polaris for an oil change and I spent hundreds of dollars. So it's just something to think about. And as far as like when you change the oil to get underneath, the oil pan's underneath, you can just back it up. If you have a set of ramps, you could back it up. The front tire is right onto the ramps, so it's not very hard at all. It's very easy on this one. On this one, the battery is in the back under this thing. So, and for those of you to store it for the winter, if you want a trickle charger, there's a 12 volt right here that you can plug a battery charger in, and that's how I plug mine in. What you want to do is, probably getting too technical, you can get any little small battery charger for a smaller battery and buy like this. This is like a attachment, and that's how I charge mine. But anyway, this is the Slingshot. It's really cool. It gets a ton of attention. No matter where I go, it's always a conversation piece. You know, like people break out their cameras. They film it. I'm a nice guy. Like a lot of people, I come out the store and they're all up in it. It was funny. The ladies at the nail salon, they were all getting their pictures next to it, and I said, "That's fine. You can sit in it if you want." And they were sitting in it and taking their pictures, and so it's always, at least where I live, you don't see a lot of these, and a lot of people don't even know what it is. And I'm like, man, this thing gets a lot of attention for what it is. Now, as far as pricing goes, I always tell people, because everyone asks, like, how much is it? I personally think that's a little rude, but I guess I wasn't raised, like, I'm not going to walk up to you and say, how much did you pay for that? But in California, a lot of people do that, and it's like, Christ, okay, you want to know, want to see my bank account next? But anyway, I bought this used in 2017. It had 8,000 miles on it, and I spent around 17 something for it. Now, the prices kind of fluctuate. You can get a new one. Brand new, I think they start in the mid-20s now. Maybe, 23, 24 for a brand new stripped down model. And this one is a SL. It had the stereo and stuff. But if you want, but like anything, when you start adding options, if you go to a dealer and you're speccing one of these out and you want a roof, you want the R model. The R model is the more powerful model, not by much. It's got the same engine, but they throw a tune on it. So instead of 175 horsepower, I think the new engines have like this, you can get a 200 horsepower engine. So that's the R model, and it's got a bigger tire in the back. They got like a big old wider tire. This is a 275 width, so it's not bad, but the R models you can get, I don't know if it's 305 width in the back. Of course, that's the point of weakness, trying to get traction with this. Yeah, by the time you spec them out, you can spend $36,000 on a 3-wheel vehicle that you're really probably going to take out during the summertime. So, to each his own. If you can swing it, that's great. I do recommend, I got this aftermarket. The aftermarket's good, so if you buy a stripped down one, you'll be fine. You can just add to it when you can afford it. There's little nuances too on these, like on the forums. Here's the clutch and brake fluid. This engine's pretty easy. There's a clutch. That's a clutch fluid, brake fluid. I can't find, yeah, right here. Little things like this bracket. When you hit the brakes on these, they're real squishy because it moves this whole master cylinder. So you buy this bracket to fix that. So I recommend if you buy one, get on the forums. The new ones, when they first came out in 2020, a lot of people, the engines kind of had some issues. So maybe stay away from the, you know, like any car, they say stay away from the first year model. So maybe you should stay away from the first year model. The new ones, but now they seem pretty solid. But yeah, if you maintain your own vehicles, I recommend getting a 15 through 19 model with low miles, because it's just easy to get parts for. But you know, the new engine's nice too. You're kind of stuck with the Polaris dealer for a lot of things on that, I think. This takes 5W30 oil, like 4 quarts. So, you know, it's typical oil. What else? Electric, I think that's the electric power steering thing right there. Now, sometimes to work on this, like, you know, I'll have to steer the wheel like this and kind of climb in there. All right, headlights and all that. So, I'm going to close the hood and do the driving video. Oh, also, one more thing. If you get these without a roof, the sun can shine in your face. You don't realize how much you can get blinded. If you get like a roof system with like bars, this has bars, part of the roof system, you can get like sun visors. See, sun visor goes down. I mean, it makes a world of difference. I bought this off of Amazon. See, I attach it right there and that blocks the sun. So, you don't realize that, you motorcycle guys, you know, but it's a little different in this because you're seated like you're in a car. And just imagine, you know, in your car, when the sun's out, you can just put the visor down. In this, you can't do that. But you can get like a helmet with a visor. But even with that, the sun glare can be pretty dangerous. So something to keep in mind. Like, you know, if you want a roof, and the reason why I got a roof, some people will say, why you get a roof? It's open air vehicle. If it's 100 degrees outside, the sun's beating down on you and you're in traffic, you'll be thankful that you have a roof because it helps block some of that sun. Of course, on this particular style, I get sun on this side of my body, but yeah, it kind of helps keep things a little cooler. All right, you fill it up here. You know, you take this off, you put your gas in there. It's a little tricky pumping gas. You gotta hold the pump all the time. Brake light here. It takes about 10 gallons of gas. So, and it gets about, with a 4-cylinder Ecotech, the best mileage I ever got, I think, was 25 to the gallon. I average maybe 20. If I really am beating the crap out of it, I might get 22 to the gallon. So it's not too bad. It's not like this where you might get 13 to the gallon or 12. I'll turn the hazards on. Let's see, hazard lights. Kind of give you an idea. You can see these blink yellow. Of course, they turn red. This is a nice looking light. It's all red when you hit the brakes. I don't have anyone. All right, I should probably shut this hood. Hold on. Let me shut the hood. These hoods. Push down things and then kind of make sure nothing comes up. And this lever, when you shut it, you got to pull up on it so that the latches lock in place. I learned the hard way about that. Oh shit, sorry. All right, so yeah, these are just the turn signals in the front. All right, I'm gonna grab the keys. I might have to cut this part of the video out. All right, here I go. Ready? I'm gonna do a quick sit down here so it looks like in the cockpit. Let me put this thing let me put this up. Put this up. Let's see here. Here's what the gauges look like. Pretty cool on this year. On this year, they don't have any digital gauges. There's what the headlights are. I put aftermarket HIDs. This year they came with them yellow halogens, but it's pretty cool. High beams and low beams are like this. If the high beams and low beams are controlled by these center lights, there's like some kind of, I don't know, cover that goes up and down is all it is. It's not like, they're not like a true high and low beam, but it's some kind of cover. But yeah, you can see, and I got my little stereo here where you can do Bluetooth and stuff. So that's kind of cool. But anyway, turn this off. Pedal commander. Alright. Oh, let me turn the hazards off. Hazard button right here. So there you have it. Where's my flash? Alright. The only performance mod I have as far as engine goes is a pedal commander. Because these aren't like, you could put turbos on these. I guess they respond well, but you know, these weigh like 1,700 pounds, a little more than 1,700 pounds with all the fluids in them and stuff. So they're pretty light. So 175 horses, that's pretty good for these. And this one wheel, I already had to get a new tire in the back. I guess maybe I could blame the pedal commander because it was gone bald, because it's kind of hard to get with, especially the pedal commander. I mean, if you're getting on it, this wheel will break, it'll break loose easy. So, but here's the pedal commander. I just kind of stuck it right here. And for those of you not to know, this just plugs down there. It plugs in between your gas pedal and I guess the car's computer, and it just adjusts the pedal sensitivity. And it makes a good difference. I recommend a pedal commander, but it's pretty pricey. It's like $300 for that thing. You know, but on these, I couldn't find a spot to plug in any kind of tuner. I got like a boat thing to read engine codes, but this will tell you, it'll throw a code. If there's an engine code, it'll show you a number right on this little digital display there. So if it'll show you a number, and you just look up the number to see what it means. So you don't even really need a scanner, I don't think, for this one. This is aftermarket here. These are just little fins. It comes closed. Keep the, you know, let the heat out of the engine. The new models have really nice looking hoods. This hood's all right, but the new ones have like big scoops in the middle, and they let air in and all kinds of stuff. So I guess what I'm saying is they're awesome vehicles, but the aftermarket stuff is pretty pricey on them. But yeah, I love driving it. It gets decent mileage. It's really easy to drive, as you'll see when I film the driving video. It's not hard. That's what I like about this. You don't have to, like, I rode motorcycles before, and I just don't feel comfortable. In California, I don't know, the people drive crazy here. So this is like the best of both worlds, because you're kind of getting that open air experience, right? But you got a steering wheel and people can see you. And it handles good because it's really wide. Really wide in the front. They say it's as wide as a Lamborghini in the front. I forget which model. Also, with the one wheel in the back, you can't really avoid potholes. So, you know, in the car, you can straddle a pothole on this. And so you have to keep that in mind too. You got one wheel in the back, two in the front. So it's really hard to avoid certain objects in the road. So keep that in mind. Okay, enough of my babbling. Let's do the exciting stuff. And we're going to go for a drive. And so you guys can kind of see what that's like and all that fun stuff. All right. Okay, here we go. This drive might be, this might be hard to see with the roof. All right, end this, but let's see what happens. Do, 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 do.
4-cylinder.
4-cylinder?
Yeah, it's good enough.
Yeah, it's good enough. Yeah, it's good on gas.
Okay. Well, I hope you had as much fun as I had. If you stuck around for the drive, you probably saw I had to maneuver to get ahead of that Big Mac truck. I don't even think trucks are supposed to be on that back road, so I had to get ahead of that truck because otherwise the video would have been ruined. Nah, don't try that at home though, kids. And also, yeah, I don't normally drive like that. I was just trying to demonstrate the capabilities. As you can see, it's a lot of fun. A gentleman even asked what kind of engine I had at the stoplight, but usually there's always someone that asks about it. So also, I did stop for some groceries. So there you go, little grocery getter. But yeah, that's the Slingshot. Also, yeah, it ran good. So also a correction, I think I said it took 4 quarts of oil. It takes 5 quarts. And on these 15 through 19s, the battery is in the back, but 2020 on forward, in the Polaris engine, the battery is actually with the engine. So that may make a difference to some of you. Or not. I think it makes things easier if it's in the engine, but hey. Okay, but that's a Slingshot. Thank you for sticking around for the drive. Like I said, it's a lot of fun. It's got storage, so it's, you know, a little bit practical. But yeah, there it is. The Polaris Slingshot. And I'm going to go ahead and edit the video and post it. And yeah, if you have any questions, hit me up in a comment. Anything Polaris Slingshot related, I probably have an answer to. Yeah, I know, it's my life. I love vehicles. But yeah, enjoy your day. And if you're in the market for one of these, I recommend it. It's a lot of fun. I mean, there's faster things out there. It's not a it looks like a supercar, but it's not. You know, it's pretty slow. It's not going to take something like this on. So if you're looking for something super fast, well, yeah, you could probably slap a turbo on this, but then you got one wheel in the back. Some guys buy them and they convert them to 4-wheel. But there are faster 3-wheel vehicles out there. But the problem with the faster 3-wheel vehicles is you're looking at $70,000, $80,000. On these, you can get in the ballpark used, I would say anywhere from 15 to 20. Brand new, you're looking between 20 and 30. So if you get one all decked out, remember, you can go as high as the highest I've seen was 36. There's a Roush model that all it is an appearance package, and I think those are like pushing 40s. So, but Roush, come on, Roush, throw a supercharger on it or something. The Roush model is just kind of white and red. It's real pretty, special seats and all that, special wheels. But if you're into appearance stuff, check out the Roush model. But yeah, that's the Polaris Slingshot, and it's a lot of fun. You can legally, you're supposed to wear a helmet in most states. You can get away with goggles probably around town, but on the highway I recommend a helmet anyway. But yeah, look at the law for your state. A lot of people assume you can just drive and not wear anything on your head, and most of the police, most people don't even know what this is, so you probably won't get pulled over. But you're gonna at least need goggles probably. But yeah, look at your state laws. You know, where I live, they don't really mess with you too much if you don't wear a helmet. But and these are good summer, winter. If you have the gear, I have all the gear for winter, rain. Now, don't do them in the rain. Yeah, they're not very good in the rain. All right, peace out. Polaris Slingshot 2017 model this is. There you go.